Alright guys, so as per request, I've come with the mid-fade tutorial. Now as you can see, I've already done my baseline, my zero baseline. We've done a 2 on top. He previously had a fresh cut and he wanted to reset his whole hairline. Anyway, so what I'm going to do for you guys is teach you or run through the way that I usually do my fades. Obviously, as you can see, I start with my baseline 0, and then we'll go we'll run through the steps, half, 1, 1.5, until we get to the top. After you've done your 0 guideline, what you want to do is make your half guideline, make it as even as possible, so that you don't have to go through later and take out the dark spots that you may have left in the guideline. And that goes for every number as well. So if you're doing like a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3, you really want your baseline to be as solid as possible. It's like a foundation. If your foundation's shaky, the rest of the whole thing gonna be shaky. So I've done my half guideline now, and what I'm gonna go do now is what people call a quarter or maybe 3/4, and that's a little bit of trigger play, right? So that's when you move your lever up and down. Hopefully I can show you guys properly. This is what I've done, right? The half, all the way half. And what I'm going to go do now to blend it in with the 0 is take it up just a little bit in between the half and 0, and just try and take out that bottom line. On some people's hair, you might find that you need to go up and down just a little bit more, like I'm doing. Some people's hair is a lot thinner than you'd expect, a lot thicker than you'd expect, and some people might even have like odd dips and ditches in their head, their natural bone structure and all that sort of stuff. So what you want to do is play with your trigger just to make it all even. Now what I'm going to go through is the 1, and I do this because I like it step by step. I find it a lot more thorough. There are obviously ways you can fade that may be a little bit quicker and get the same result. If you watched a couple of videos, a lot of people might have told you that it's there's a lot based on the barber's preference, and that's all it is to it, man. It's very important to play with your trigger and find out your medium spots, what works best for you. The end result, obviously, that everyone's looking for is a really clean fade. And don't stress if you can't get it the first time, second time. Barbering is luck. Some people are really talented just by nature, but it's not something you have to have a talent for. I never had a talent for it. It's something that I learned over time. I put the effort in, I put the practice in, I gave hundreds upon hundreds of free haircuts, and I still do. At the moment it's more based on promotion and promoting my business. However, it keeps your practice up, you know. People who are 50, 60 years old never stop learning. There's always something to learn. There's always a new way, always a new style. As you might have noticed, I'm now doing the 1.5. Now, I'm not going too high on the 1.5 because he obviously wants to grow out the top at some stage. So we're just going to keep that nice and level, and then we'll go through. Some people, I do this sometimes, where you do a 1.5 and then open up your 1.5 just to blend it in with the 2. I usually do that. I'm not going to do that today, just for the sake of people who aren't really familiar with the industry and trying to get into it. I'm just going to keep it simple. So now I've opened up my 1 just a little bit, blended in with the 1.5. I'm probably on 1 1/4. It depends on the clippers you guys use as well. So if you've noticed, if you guys have a pair of Babyliss like I do, what you'll notice is that, let me just take this clipper grip a bit down. What you'll notice is it has these little holes where the lever sort of sits in, and you can feel the bump. Now if you have a Wahl or maybe an Andes, I don't know if the Andes do the bumps, but you won't feel the bump on the Wahls. I have Magics, I have 100 years, Seniors, and I learnt most of my trigger play on Wahl clippers, so I'm a little bit more used to it. But I really like the way the Babyliss fades, how it clip over combs. It's a really clean machine. It cuts really well, takes off bulk really well, and that's sort of how you learn and get around doing the whole thing. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna call it a 1 3/4 now, just to get out that bulk line at the top. It doesn't really take a lot of effort. You just got to be patient, especially if your client has really stubborn hair. At the moment mine doesn't, thank God. Make the tutorial a little bit easy. So now, if you have a look, what you guys may find is that there's still a little bit of a bulk line. That usually happens with me. Maybe it's the way I fade, maybe it's the technique I use. But because of that line, what I'll do now is go through with a completely open 1. And that's a little bit of a shorter 1.5. And I'll just lightly flick through it. Sorry. And that should take it out. I'll do the same. I'll go down as well. I'll do the same with the 1/2, just to get it real nice and crispy. If you guys are still learning, for those of you who are still learning, you can do what I've done today, whereas I've just done the one side for practice. And if you need to redo the other side, just don't cut the other 1/2. And then just get a little bit more practice in. Hopefully you'll get some clients who have a little bit of free time to let you practice on them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I do my mid fade. Don't forget to trigger play. It's one of the most important things. Don't rely on the 1/2 being a 1/2 and the open 1/2 fading right into the 1. There's a lot of times you guys will come across that it won't happen like that, just because of the thickness of the hair types, different people's head shapes. I got quite a good one today. Maybe I'll come through with a more difficult one and show you guys how to get through it. But that's pretty much it. So I hope this was fairly informative for you guys. Hopefully you've learned a lot. If you're struggling, keep struggling. You'll get past through it. It's all about practice.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button.
And the like.
Subscribe button and the like. And follow me on Instagram. The Notorious BBR. My mentor page, The Notorious BBR. Right? Take care. Peace.